There was a big growling Rottweiler in front.
In my yard?
Oh, just in the neighborhood, period.
Oh. Hello YouTube and welcome to another jet ski video. I just finished editing the video on this and it should be uploaded soon. It's raining outside, so I figured that I would try to do some modifications to the fuel system on this. What I want to do is make it so that the fuel cap is underneath the hood, and I have the fuel lines running from the front of the tank back around the side. I got these fittings and I'm going to use this piece of Delrin and hopefully make it so that this fits in the front of the tank, and then I can connect my lines to this. So I don't know if this is going to work, but let's get to it. Start by taking this filler neck off. A very official YouTube channel now. I've got myself a cameraman.
That's probably going to be here every day asking you to ride the orange bike, yes.
I've loosened off the hose clamps, so this should pull out pretty easily. And now this should come off pretty easily. All right, so the opening size is 1.41. So this is 2 inches, and I need to make it 1.4. An inch sticking in and an inch out, so we'll make it 2 inches. Zero that out.
I've been recording for 2 minutes. My finger has only gone the way of the camera twice.
I am at 1.639, so we'll do that all the way just to make it quick. It fits. Good thing I didn't make it any smaller. Now what I'm going to try to do is cut a small groove.
And then you gotta put a hole in there.
So that the O-ring can sit in the groove. Alright, that will go down into there.
So that O-ring is gonna be the fuel cap.
The O-ring is going to be a seal. The fuel cap's going to go on here. This thing is going to... the fuel lines are going to come out of this.
Oh.
There.
Everybody subscribe to this man's YouTube channel. He's the best YouTuber ever.
Don't put your hands near that. We don't need this to be a video about
cutting your fingers off.
Cutting his fingers off.
On the news, today we have a video of a 10-year-old cutting his fingers off.
We'll go in there, and that will go in there. My cameraman quit, so I am going to do the rest of this on my own. course, the battery died on my GoPro right then, but we are now threading in the first fitting. Great success. Alright, so I pretty much have it finished, and now that I know that this is going to work, I'm going to add the primer and the vent. So this will be the feed line. The fuel will come up from a filter in through here and to the carburetor. It will then return through here and go back into the tank. I don't need a fitting on there. I kind of realized that as I was putting it in, but I don't need a fitting for the return. And so I'm going to put this on the top here for the vent. And then the primer, I think I will go down through the center here. So now we have the vent drilled. Okay, so now we have the vent, the feed, and the return. On the bottom it is the vent, the feed, and the return. And now all we need to do is make a hole for the primer. Let's do it. All right, I got it cleaned up as best as I'm going to get it cleaned up. And now it's time for final assembly. So I'm going to try threading in these 6mm primer lines first. They don't have any place to grab them with a wrench, so I need to do this with pliers. It's going quite well. All right, that turned out exactly how I wanted it. The vent is installed. It just vents to the top of the cap here, so it doesn't need another fitting. The return line does not need to go down to the bottom of the tank, so it just ends there without a fitting. So now we just have the feed line. And the feed line does require a fitting on the bottom because it has to pick up from the bottom of the tank. And there we go. It is now ready to install. Okay, so what you just saw me do there was put some heat shrink on some nuts. I'm using them on the pickup line so that the pickup line always stays on the bottom of the tank and follows the fuel around. I pulled the gas tank part way out and I decided that I didn't like the way it was sealing around the top. And so I ended up having to cut the lines off and put a second groove to put a second O-ring in. The hose clamp is going to be tightening down around where the second O-ring is. So I didn't feel comfortable just having one around the top. The good news is it's ready to go in now, and because this is a video and I'm doing the editing, you guys don't have to watch me struggle with all that. Oh, look at there. It's in place. Well, I'm an idiot. Apparently I didn't need to take the tank out or the battery or the relay. Alrighty. Cut it off there. I'm going to use the original vent with the check valve on it. That will go like that. I'll run it back. I'll blow in the end of the line, and if it makes bubbles, it's the feed, and if it doesn't, it's the return. Whoa. Okay, so this is the return line. Hook up the feed line. And when I blow in this, there will be bubbles. Gas might also shoot back out, so I'm going to be careful. Okay, there were bubbles, and you can hear the vent venting. All right, YouTube, this turned into way bigger of a project than I ever wanted it to be. I have stuff everywhere. As you can see, I have stuff on the floorboards, on the mill, on the lathe, on the toolbox, on the bench. I made a massive mess, and I still have a couple things left to do, but I'm going to end the video here because it's getting late and I want to post this video today. So basically I have to put a few tie wraps on the vent and some of the fuel lines, and I still need to block this hole off where the original filler cap used to be. When I paint the jet ski, this will be getting fiberglassed off, and I will probably also move the primer to a more sensible spot. But for now, that's just gonna stay like that and get capped off. The whole idea of this project was basically two things. I now have my fuel cap underneath the hood, which means that when I'm filling the thing with gas, I will be looking at the engine bay and seeing if anything fell off or is about to fall off. And the second thing is that the lines are a little bit more tidy coming out here. I still have to do some tidying up on them, but in the end it will work out a lot better. I still have to finish building my surf brace, but I'm hoping that I will actually have it out and test it before that happens. Anyway, I hope some of this footage turned out and that you guys found this video interesting. Thanks to Keegan for being my videographer. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.